morning, beloveds. He's just out of camera range. There, you might see the corner of his head right there. There. Foster is here, so I'm sure he's going to be in the way because he's a little clingy. I got to go to the park today. It was very hot in the park today. The squirrels were out to play. We saw the woodpecker and at least 2 blue jays. I know I got a good picture of the woodpecker. Whether I got any decent pictures of the blue jays, I don't know. I do know that I got a couple of really good squirrel pictures, though. So, well, Gabby, what you yearning for, baby? All right. So, we are in this book, we are in part 5. We are doing From the Teaching of Jesus. And I'm getting smart enough to mark where I ended, so I know where to start today. So we are going to start on 436, the last section that starts on that page, which is Entering the Kingdom of Reality. And this is from Matthew. Oh, excellent. I love blue jays. You know they're in the crow family. They are very smart. Okay. Entering the Kingdom of Reality from Matthew 7:21. It is not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, who enters the kingdom of harmony. Only those who do the will of love can enter. The temple of truth is approached by the pure in heart and entered by those who serve but one master, which is truth. In no way can this passage from Matthew 7 be misconstrued to mean or even suggest anything like the theological hell. The theological hell. Okay, there's a period there. Jesus never taught the popular concept of hell. He was laying down a philosophy of life for time as well as for eternity. He knew He knew that eternity must be made up of different times. To suppose an eternity without the element of time is to suppose an impossibility, for it means to suppose an unexpressed existence. The wise person builds their house on the solid rock of truth and not on the shifting sands of instability. That is a Bible quote. I don't know where it's from, but it is. And of course, Ernest doesn't tell us. So they measure causes by effects and estimate reality by that which is real and enduring. The foolish person, living only in the sense perception, has no measure for reality and builds their house on false opinion and erroneous concept. The vicissitudes of fortune upset the frail building. The storms of experience tear the walls apart, and while the edifice falls about them in ruins, truth alone endures to eternal day. Oh my God, Ernest. I'm struggling a little bit. I think it was because I was in bright light. Now my eyes are going, I don't want to read. Okay, let me try this again. Oh, okay. All right, Ernest. Truth. So I belong to this group called Philosophy Friday, and we were talking about that. We were talking about, well, how do you know that science of mind works? And my argument is, well, the proof is in that if you work the science of mind, your life gets better. And one of the other ministers in the group said, I'm gonna argue with you a little bit about the better, because frequently when people start in science of mind, things fall away. You know, relationships might fall away, jobs might fall away, you know, friends might fall away. But the argument then goes back to, and what I called it the concept of Hurricane Harvey. Sometimes we have to take the walls back to the studs. Or in this case, as the quote said, we have to take it down to the foundation because the foundation wasn't good. Once we build that good foundation, then everything we build after that will stand strong and will stand against whatever, comes at us. And so it's a little bit of that. It's like the only way to do this is with love. So that's the foundation. And if our foundation isn't built there, it's going to get moved around underneath us. All right, moving on. Let's see. The healing of the centurion's servant from Matthew 8, 5 through 14. Okay. In Matthew 8, we have a beautiful story in the life of Jesus, which shows his great compassion and love for humanity by the healing of the centurion's servant. Now, note that the centurion would not allow Jesus to come to his house, but ask him to speak the word only. The centurion, being a man of authority in the physical plane, recognized that Jesus exercised like authority on the mental and spiritual planes. Without this recognition, he would not have known that Jesus could heal his servant by the power of his word. Speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. It is no wonder that Jesus marveled at this faith. And how quickly was this faith answered by an affirmative response from a heart of love and a mind of understanding. Go thy way, and as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. How simple the words, yet how fraught with meaning. What majesty and might. From whence came the power of the spoken word? Is it not necessary to suppose that the word of people, when spoken in compliance with the law of truth, is also all-powerful? We cannot believe that Jesus had an occult power not possessed by other people. To think this would be superstition. We certainly cannot suppose that he was especially endowed with power from on high, for this would be to believe in a partial God. There is but one logical explanation of the power of Jesus. He believed that he believed what he taught, and so completely lived his teachings that he was able to demonstrate them. But we should remember that his will was over in accord with the divine mind. So basically, Jesus walked his walk. Jesus walked his walk. And the centurion recognized his authority. The centurion went, this is a man who has the authority in the spiritual plane to do what I'm asking him to do. He believed it. He didn't have to see it. He knew when he got back to his house that his servant would be healed. And I'm assuming that the servant believed it too. Because, there are three parties in this. That Jesus can believe, the centurion can believe, but the servant's got to believe too. So all three of them believed that the centurion went to Jesus and said, hey, that it would happen. And it did. And that was one of the things that Jesus was trying to teach us. If you believe it, it will be done. If it is in alignment with the divine mind. And healing is definitely in alignment with the divine mind. You just got to remember, healing doesn't always look like we think it looks. Occasionally, when this vessel is worn out, healing looks like leaving it. So, because occasionally we get pinned down with that one. And they're like, but, you said you'd heal it. Well, it's still healing. It's just another kind. All right. Jesus forgives a man and heals him. Matthew 9, 5, and 6. Now, some of the scribes who had heard Jesus tell the sick man that his sins were forgiven said that he blasphemed God in attempting to forgive sins. But Jesus, reading their thoughts and knowing what was in their minds, asked them if it were easier to forgive or to heal. For whether is easier to say, thy sins are forgiven thee, or to say, arise and walk. In order to prove his position, he healed the man, saying, arise, take up thy bed, and go into thine house. This incident has to do with a great psychological law. If one labors under a great burden of past mistakes, they devitalize their body, and if the condemnation is great enough, It might render the body incapable of moving. Jesus, seeing that the sick man was laboring under a load of condemnation, told him that his sins were forgiven. This removed the weight from the man's consciousness, making it possible for him to receive the healing word. Would Jesus have forgiven the man if he had thought that God held anything against him? Certainly not. He knew that the eternal heart is one of love and that God forgives from the foundation of the universe. Indeed, he knew that the divine mind is too pure to behold evil and knows nothing about sin. In other words, God would have seen nothing to forgive. God would have seen a beloved expression of the divine and not seen the sin. That is definitely something that is bound by time and space. And I think that's one of the other reasons why forgiveness work is so important, why forgiving ourselves is so important, and why forgiving others is so important. Guilt is a terrible burden to bear, and it does take a toll on the mind and the body. So make amends and forgive yourself, Okay, which is the next thing is because he's about to say it and I didn't look at it and I should have. God knows no evil. That's the next section. Why should it disturb anyone to be told God knows nothing of their sin, nothing of their want, nothing of their lack of any kind? The tragedy would be if God did know. If God knew sin, God would be a sinner. For what the infinite mind knows, it must be. Sin or mistakes are outside of the providence of reality. Jesus knew this. He also knew that people labor under the sense of condemnation. The burden of their thought weighs them to the dust. Being able to read thought, he knew just what step to take in the relieving of the burden of this person's mind before telling them to arise and walk. We shall do well to remember this lesson. How often we condemn when we should forgive. How often censure when we might praise. What untold grief of heart might be relieved by the words of cheer and forgiveness. Especially should this lesson be remembered in the training of children, for they so readily respond to the thought of others. Remembering that the Spirit holds no evil towards people and that God is love, we should emulate this divine lesson and forgive all, that our hearts may be free from the burden of our own condemnation. And that's what I was talking about. Why forgiveness work is so important. The forgiveness work is so important because it relieves the burden from both the person who was harmed and the person who does the harm. So if you have made a mistake or if I've made a mistake, then it is mine to make amends. And if that person can forgive me, great. If I have made in the 12-step programs, they say make amends, unless trying to make amends would make it work, would harm the person that you're trying to make amends with. And so that's it. It's like, if you can make amends, go make amends. Ask for forgiveness. Or you don't even ask for forgiveness, but go make amends. Say you're sorry. And then change your behavior. Because words don't mean anything if actions do not follow. And then, even if that person does not forgive you, forgive yourself. And then again, do better. Because words mean nothing unless they're followed by action. So, forgive yourself and move on. We're divine beings having human experiences. We're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen. And we make amends and we move on. We learn from our mistakes and we move on. So, laboring under the guilt of the mistakes, it's hard on the mind. It's hard on the body. And the worst part about it is when you stay under that condemnation, you up the chances of making more mistakes. You don't want to get so foolhardy thinking you'll never make a mistake. You definitely want to forgive yourself and try not to do it again. But when you labor under that guilt, all you see are opportunities to fail. Whereas when you're able to forgive yourself, you start seeing opportunities to succeed. Okay? That right there is enough of an argument for forgiveness work. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I've been at this for about 15 minutes. I think I'm going to stop here because that's kind of a really important point. So we are going to start on, we'll start on 439 with new cloth, old garments. So, yeah, I don't know how long we're going to be doing this, but I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I wasn't sure if I was going to be any good at it. I still don't know if I'm any good at it, but at least it's an exercise that is interesting and engaging for me. I don't have to be good at it for it to be interesting and engaging for me. I hope you're getting something out of it. So, all right. Oh, all right. I'm also hungry, so I'm going to go get something to eat. Okay, so just the quick housekeeping. I'm just going to remind you, an easy way to support the center is to engage with our social media. Sorry, hang on. Let me get my squirrels in order here. Oh, that reminds me. I had a total squirrel moment and still haven't fixed the squirrel moment. So I need to go fix the squirrel moment, which I'm having right now. Same reason. Okay. Social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. So, and I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So you can go like, subscribe, follow, share, and comment. Apparently, all it takes is 5 words to bump the videos and stuff in the algorithms. So, and we think that we have good stuff to share. We want to help people make their lives worth living. Yeah, better. Good. So, and if you want more information about the center, the website is creativelife.org. Just like, the YouTube channel is Creative Life Spiritual Center. Creativelife.org. That is our website. And then you can also get on the constant contact email. So that is info@creativelife.org. That is the constant contact email. You get one a week in normal circumstances. It is hurricane season. And, squirrel. The hot links in the email are hot. It says click here now. It'll take you right to the information you want or to the person that can help you get it. So, okay. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. I am going to have a catter day and a nap day and maybe get some stuff done day and maybe rest day and cuddle with my fur babies day and take it easy day and all those other kind of things that can happen on my friend Patrick, Reverend Patrick, calls it Sacred Saturday because it is my day off. It is the one day that I do not have to do any work for anybody, except myself and, my family, my household. So, yeah, I'm going to take it. So, have a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are enough, just as you are. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right? Explore the truth of your being. Oh, all right. Deep breath. Deep breath. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.